Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. Say hi, Kel.
Hi, Kel.
It never gets old, does it?
It doesn't.
All right.
It probably does.
Depends on where you're standing. In this video, we're going to mill some 2x6s, and we're going to have to mill a boatload of them. So we've got a decent pile of poplar logs that we've accumulated. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in that last log. Yeah, not sure about it, but if those of you that have watched the channel before will recognize this devil of a log. This is the log that we found metal on. So what I've done is I've taken my chainsaw and I've cut out these portions here. So this is a portion that had metal in it. Also is a portion that had the core rot. So we're going to commit these to the fire and do away with those. And it leaves this the rest of these two cants here that I think are just a cat's whisker under 8 feet. I'm not sure, I haven't measured it yet. But why do we need 2x6s? Well, we're actually, and this is kind of a cart before the horse type of thing, because we haven't really talked about...
That's not like us.
Well, no. We usually are so well planned out that we have every detail enumerated. But we need, I've estimated we need about 52 to 60 2x6s, which is a boatload of 2x6s. And what we want to do is we're building a deck, would be probably be the most logical way to explain it. We're building a platform at our second property that's in the mountains that will suit us for, that's kind of the first priority we want up there, because we're going to go up and stay in our tent. The boys love to tent camp. We love to tent camp. Kelly loves tent camping, don't you, Kelly?
Woo-hoo. Yes, yeah, I do.
She does, actually. She's cool. She's handy to have. So we, and I'll link to a video here so you can see what we're talking about, our property. It's something that we worked on this last summer, and now that the winter's broken, we'll be back up working on it. But we want to build this deck, or this platform, that we can set up, be the first thing that we build when we get to camp. That way we can pitch our tent on it. So we have flat ground. Again, our campground isn't very flat. So this will allow us to have a flat space, put our tent on it. And the purpose of that, to go through all this trouble to build something just to set a tent up on, because you may say, hey man, why don't you just make a flat spot? Why don't you grade a spot or whatever? We want this to be a multifunctional piece that once we're done tent camping on it, then we can make it the back porch of the cabin that we plan on building up there. Again, we want to try to build a cabin mostly out of our own material. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that rubs against money and rubs against time. I'll be 80 years old. I'm still building a cabin. That's not going to work. But the point being, so building a deck, the 2x6s will be our deck top. I don't like using the 5/4 stuff you buy at the box stores. That garbage dries out so fast and splinters and looks like crap. So I want something that's going to last a while. If I'm going to go through the trouble of doing it, we've got a lot of poplar we got to clear out anyway, so it just makes sense. So we're going to start here. I'm building a 12x20 deck. So these are dimensional box store sizes we're going to cut. So I'm going to cut 1.5 by 5.5 to be a 2x6. So we need roughly 52, 53, 20-foot long 2x6s to cover that 12x20 dimension. Well, obviously we're not doing 20-foot long material. We're going to be doing some variation there. So we're going to shoot for 50, or actually we're going to shoot for 60, and then do some calculations there. So let's get milling, and hopefully we won't hit any more metal. So I hadn't run the mill for, not even less than 2 weeks to take the cover off, and there's already a mouse building a nest in the hateful thing. So much for cats. How many cats do we have? And
3. They don't...
Exactly, 3 cats. So we had to put a new blade on, obviously, because the last blade, saw blades and nails don't play well together. So this is our 6th blade. So you get them in packs of 20 for, remember how much they were, Kel? Several $100s, weren't they?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think maybe 250, maybe $300. I don't remember. So we have one pack of blades that we're halfway through. This is number 6. And then we have a whole new pack that I haven't started yet. So one of these days, somebody's going to have to invest in a sharpener or sit down and do it by hand. I do have some experience sharpening these by hand, but not the best at it. My grandpa, if he was still alive, he was really good at it. He even built his own sharpener from scratch. He built everything from scratch. Okay, a little tension. That's what we like around here, is a lot of tension. She's tracking good. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Put the covers on. Got it? Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Water in the tank. Need to get the tractor and get rid of these guys.
Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, go get the tractor if you would, please.
Can you put this in low?
Yeah, low is the other.
Do you want me to come at that better?
Yeah, just you turn it sharp. Drop the bucket and turn it sharp. Go. Jump it. Jump it. All right, Kel, first log, how many we get out of that one?
We got 10 2x6s out of that log.
10 2x6s and 2 that were kind of scruffy because they had a lot of wane, so we use those for the top. Now, I know some of y'all had mentioned how we stack our lumber, and for this lumber, we're stacking it right here for now, just on top of one another, until I can get a big enough pile that I'm actually going to do the rick boards, and we'll rick it actually where the camera's sitting. Rick boards are where I take strips like these. That's why I toss these over here to have them. And I cut them and lay them out so there's airflow between the wood. And I usually make my rick stacks, if I'm going to leave it outside, make them wide enough or skinny enough that a piece of old roofing tin can sit on top of it, keep the water off of it. But we'll document that when we get to that point. So I had the hay spear on the back of the tractor, and I wasn't comfortable with how much the tires were coming off the back ground with that counterweight. So didn't like Kelly driving that with 2 wheels. So we get some counterweight there with our box scraper. We'll try again. Alrighty. Did you happen to notice that big poison ivy vine on there, Kelly?
Yes, I saw that.
Are you going to get that or am I?
I'll get it.
So Kelly is blessed in the fact that she doesn't get poison ivy. I, however, swell up like a pufferfish. In fact, she could even, oh, here's another little patch, Kel. She could even now touch me with that hand that she touched poison ivy with, and I could still get it.
So you better be good.
Get your hands away from me. Get your hands off me, woman.
But you touched the wood right there.
I'm not touching it. You're unloading this one. Got a little bit of a knob in here. See, the boys have been using my hatchet. Of course they have. All right. For my next trick, that is a long log. It really tapers quite a bit too.
How long is it?
Some logs are longer than others. Would you mind getting my can hook over there in the barn? If you can. If you can't, it's okay.
But now I just touched this.
What is it?
I said, now I just touched this.
That's right, you just touched my can hook.
You want me to use it? I'll do it.
Santa
You want
Maria.
me to turn the log for you?
Yeah, will you turn that 3,000 pound log for
Yep,
me?
sure.
You who weighs $1.05 soaking wet. All right, so we have a, you like that?
It's good.
We have a Sawyer's dilemma. Who's Sawyer and what's
He's
he doing
not even
here?
here.
All right, so this is 13 feet 4 inches from end to end, which is obviously a little bit longer than what I need, but I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but this log obviously has some taper. This is actually the second log from a tree. This is the next 13 feet. So when I check out the diameter with my handy dandy $78 tape measure,
Use that as much as possible, please.
justifies
What?
itself. What? Look at this. Do you know how long it would be for me to figure this out? I mean, if I had to take a tape measure and go right across the side here, how much more
know.
that would be?
It's ridiculous.
Okay, so this turkey here is twisted,
Get your turkey untwisted.
much like, well, twisted turkey, huh? All right, so that is 13.5 inches in diameter. And on this end, it becomes, ow, that hurt. Becomes 11.5 inches in diameter. So we lose 2 inches.
Do you need a tape measure for that?
Yeah, I did actually. I needed a $78 tape measure to tell me that.
I think this tape measure gets a little more expensive every time you're breaking it to me gently.
Yeah, shipping and handling was a nightmare. So the question is, do I cut this down to 12? Do I cut it down to 10? If I were to cut it down to 12 though, am I really gaining anything? Because we said this was 13.4. So if I just cut a foot off of it, really
What size
isn't-
is your trailer that you're going to be
Really isn't
transporting it?
What is it?
What size is your trailer that you're going to be transporting
Oh,
it?
I'll be carrying it in the 16-footer. Yeah, so really only gained 3/4 of an inch. There's a bit of a dog leg in that too, it looks like. You know what? Let's just cut it. I definitely don't need 13 feet, but I have any, I'm probably going to have some wane there. Remember Wayne, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just cut it. It's only saw blade. It's only gas. We only have 4 million poplar trees left on the property to cut. Oh look, guess who still didn't sharpen the point on the can hook?
Did you want me to do it for you?
I need
said I would.
You want to just hold it right there?
Yeah.
You want to hold it right there?
Yeah.
Hold it.
I do.
Hold it.
Got it.
Put your all into it.
My $1.05 doesn't hold this.
Is that Canadian dollars? Or
You better be nice.
I don't even know the exchange rate of a Canadian dollars. Arnold, you probably know, and if you're watching this, you can tell us. What's a $1.05? All right, while we continue to wait on Kelly to bring us water here, we will discuss.
What a girl,
You
what a
can't
girl.
throw that water at me. I got my mic on. Oh, this tree has poison ivy on it too. I'm going to need that removed too.
Good heavens. I got to do it all.
I like to watch you pour water in because it
You
kind
just,
of reminds me of Flashdance because she's leaning up so hard. How high she's pouring that water in. And I just expect her to dump it over her head and be like, I'm a maniac, maniac. There it is. Woo, baby. Hey, how about Red Tool House wet t-shirt contest?
what?
I said, how about Red Tool House wet t-shirt contest?
Hey.
I'll go first.
Yes, that'd be good.
We may not get much done, but we have fun time doing it.
Do we?
Do we? All right. Poison ivy. So that last log was a nightmare, and partially because I had to turn in at 13 feet. Again, losing stuff there. The length wasn't that big a deal, I guess, but it did have a bit of a fish belly in it. And of course, some genius is thinking that 5.5 plus 5.5 is 10. So my public school math is starting to show itself there. So we made the cant a little smaller than we needed to. So what do we get out of that, Kel? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that sixth one is kind of, we got 6 13-foot 2x6s out of that. So we've got log number 3 on here. And I went ahead and cut him off at 10 feet. I'm not messing around with the 13-foot stuff.
That was difficult to move.
Well, it is, and it's really not, 13 feet such an odd number. Again, if we're building our deck and we're building it on 16s, that shouldn't, who knows, my goodness, it's been a long day. You already know, you people sitting in the comfort of your couch, you know what that equals. I have no friggin' clue right now. So, okay, so what are we doing? So we're going to try to see how many 2x6s we can get out of this one. My goal is to try to get two columns of 2x6s, even if there's a little bit of wane on it. So we'll see again if I can do simple math, then maybe this will work. Let's try. Okay, so on that last log, we only were able to get 7 2x6s out of that. I couldn't get 2 columns wide, so had some wasted material there. Those logs, of course, are just getting down in diameter. When I'm making my second cut on the opposite side to get 2 parallel sides, I was already at 10 to even start removing bark. So, but doing a little finagling there, cutting pieces, turning them on their edge, and then coming back and cutting them with the main cant allowed me to get a couple more out. I think I got 2 more extra, so I would have had 5, was able to get 7. So not bad. Again, that's actually, those 3 logs were from one tree. So everything you see here, including the stack behind it, let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, if you count the ones that's got some wane on them. So 26. So we're almost halfway there with one tree. So I've got a couple. I got 2 smaller logs from that tree that I may mess with, I may not. But I need to get these stacked up here so they can dry properly. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I've got this rough piece of poplar, just a scrap piece. I'm going to cut a couple, probably 3 or 4 pieces out of it, wide enough that I can get 3 of my 2x6s wide laying out on it, and be able to lay it here in the grass, get it off the ground, let some air pass underneath it, and then I'll put rick boards in between it, which again are just little spacers to space it out. So we'll get that going. All right, knowing we've got 13 footers, so we'll put all of it right here in all the deer poop. Obviously, I don't know what 13 feet looks like. What you're going to do, buddy, is you're just going to put it right beside that one. So we're going to have 4 wide there. You want to try to line it up as good with the other ones as possible. Yeah, so we can bring it this way. Okay, you go ahead and bring that other one. Okay, so then we take our rick boards, and I'm trying to find the ones that are all from the same, similar thickness. And we're just laying those down over top of our support board. The key is to have everything distributed in weight down through the rick boards. Thank you, sir. Hey, sorry. All right, Liam, come here, buddy. Get on the end of that. We're going to lay it on top of the stack. Okay. So what we're doing here is coming up with some dead weight. So I've got this old pine beam we had there, and you're going to set it right on there. Try to set it in the middle, buddy. There you go. And give me a little bit of it. I need some right there. Okay. So that's going to provide a little bit of weight. Again, the plan is to keep that from bowing up. Now, granted, since I've got such different lengths, if I was really doing this for the wood shop back in the day when I used to do this, then I would rick this all even lengths, put weight across all the ricks, and then put tin over top of it to keep it dry. We're probably going to end up using this in less than a month. So it's amazing how much poplar will dry out, and it'll be half the weight in just a couple of weeks. Some of these boards here, in fact, see this one is a little more chocolate color. That's been 2 weeks milled, and it's already half the weight of the ones we just milled. So that's what we're looking for. So I just want them to be able to air out. Right now I got a little breeze blowing, so theoretically, it's blowing right through all those little cracks, letting the boards dry out appropriately, and of course trying to limit the amount of curl you get. Now still could be some this way, but hopefully keeps the cupping and keeps the curl out. All right, that's it everybody. It's almost dark. It's time to call it a day. Take care.